Can you explain to my listeners what the experimental section is and what it would be used for?
Yeah, sure. So the experimental section is basically a way for LSAC, the test makers, to test out future LSAT questions that will be scored questions on a future LSAT exam. So they're not counted against your LSAT score, but you do have to do them. And they don't tell you which one it is. There's not a big sign saying experimental on it. They want you to give it your full effort and take it seriously, which is not maybe the nicest thing to do, but just
Right.
you're paying it forward just as someone else did your sections for you. So
Yeah.
it could be any one of the five, and it could be any of logic games, logical reasoning, or reading comprehension. So there's total randomness. You never know. You could have an experimental game section. Someone else has experimental reading comp. And the only way to tell which one was experimental would be afterwards, talking with other test takers. People typically go on forums and talk about it online after the exam. And so you could see even that if you had 2 game sections or 2 reading comps or 3 logical reasonings, you would know that any one of those would have been your experimental, because the scored exam will only have 1 games, 1 reading comp, and 2 logical reasonings.
Right. I think on my tests, I had 2 logic games sections, which I was so happy about because that was my favorite section. I find that people either love logic games or they hate logic games.